3 lobster tails and they were previously frozen. I purchased them from Whole Foods. I think I got like $32 for like the 3. I mean, if you're in the Caribbean, you probably have a better chance than me. And so I'm just cutting them down with my shears. They're called kitchen shears. And I am just literally splitting it down the middle so I could get like the meat out. I'm gonna do a spicy lobster pasta because why not? And so you're just gonna do like that and get the meat off out of the claw. If you have a different way that you do it at home, I mean, feel free. But this is how I get it done. And I'm just gonna pull the shell off and try to get the other side of the meat. And we're gonna chop this up and season it. I literally just rinse this off with water. You can don't add anything extra to it. Just literally wash it with water. Maybe just a tad bit of lemon, but I wouldn't even do that because lemon is very acidic and lobster meat cooks quickly from any form of acid. And so I'm just gonna split this down again. And see, just like that, my meat come out of the shell. I think I'm just gonna leave that one whole and just grill it off just to, you know, have a really nice, cute display. So that's it. We're gonna come back and we're gonna cut our lobster and season it up. Here I have my lobster that I cleaned. And I'm gonna just take my kitchen shear and just cut it about an inch or 2 thick. Just so we can have some nice chunky pieces in our pasta and not tiny. And I did two lobster tails, and this is another piece. It's so funny how the lobster that you get in the supermarket in America is so darn tiny compared to the lobster tail in the Caribbean. I remember when I used to do seafood, it used to be so huge and chunky. But now, I don't know. But anyhow, we're gonna cut these up. We don't need a lot, and I just leave the other one like this because I just want to grill it off and top it on top of my pasta. And so I'm not gonna really season this with too much of anything. I have some spicy danos here that I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna put just about maybe a third of a teaspoon, not even a half, because you know what I say, you always add but you can never take away. And just some spicy Old Bay, and literally a third of a teaspoon of that. And you're gonna make sure you get it on all the pieces of the lobster, right? That much. And we're gonna just grind some fresh black pepper. I'm a lefty, so it's hard with my hand, but some fresh black pepper. And to that, I'm just gonna add some olive oil. Spray some olive oil on there. And this is just to literally marinate the shrimp. And that's it, guys. Like, nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of onion powder. You know, some paprika. And literally eyeball it as you you go. You have to know what works for you in your kitchen. That's just to give it a nice color when it is cooking. And I'm gonna use my hand and get all up in there like so. That's it. I'm gonna put this to marinate for about an hour, 30 minutes the most. Here in my pan, I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil that's really hot. I'm gonna go ahead and add my lobster tail and my lobster pieces, and I want this oil to get really hot because I don't want to cook it too much because I have to put the lobster back in to make the sauce. So I'm just gonna let it fry it up really good, and you just need it to cook about literally no more than like 2 minutes because it's one of those meat that cooks really fast and everything happens really quickly. So again, medium low, and like you really have to watch it. As long as the sides is already turning like orange, you know it's already cooking. And you're not gonna discard of any of the oil because that's what we need to cook our tomatoes. We're gonna leave this here and do its thing for like about 2 or 3 minutes max, and then we'll come back and we'll flip it. To get started on my creamy lobster and grits, I have a bell pepper here, and I'm just gonna slice it like so. Oop. Just like that. And I am just gonna dice it in little small pieces, just like that much. I already pre-sliced most of my bell peppers. I'm using just a half of each bell pepper, and you could use how much pepper you like. It depends on how many people you're making it for. I'm not making it for a lot of people, so mine is a little bit less. And also I am gonna just take that and put it in my little bowl that I have here sitting on the side. And then I'm going to take some cute little tomatoes that I got these at Trader Joe's. They're called tiny tomato, and those are what I'm gonna use. I already rinsed them off and pre-prepped them beforehand, and I'm just gonna slice it down the middle. You don't need to do too much to it. If you don't want to slice it down the middle, you could use them whole and just let them burst in the pot. I don't want that. I want all the juices from the tomato. And pretty much that is it. I am going to, here I have 1 cup of grits. I am going to wash that grits because as for me and my house, we're gonna clean our grits because baby, the things that be coming out of that grits, yeah, you want no parts of it. Okay, my lobster tails are finished. I'm gonna take these out of my pan, and to that I am going to add my tomato. I am going to add some shallot. Oopsies. And I am going to add my peppers. And I'm going to turn my stove down because again, I don't want my peppers to burn. I'm going to put it on low. And I'm going to do a pinch of salt. Just a pinch of salt. Nothing too crazy. And I am going to stir this around. Just like that. And it's gonna taste delish because now that you're cooking this tomato in the lobster, where the lobster is just cooking, that lobster is going to give it its flavor. If you have seafood stock, feel free to use it. If you don't, you obviously cook the lobster first so it could get the taste of that lobster. I'm gonna cover this for about 3 to 4 minutes just so it could get nice and translucent, and then I'll come back and do the rest. Alrighty, that sweat very nicely, just the way I wanted it. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna gently stir this tomato around. To that I am going to add just about 1/3 of a cup of sherry cooking wine. You could use white wine if you have white wine at hand. If you don't, that's totally fine. You could even use like some Pinot Grigio. Again, that is also an option. And I have this Kerrygold garlic and herb butter that I'm going to add to that. Just about roughly 2 tablespoons of that butter. We're going to stir this in and let it get nice and melted. Just like that. And to that I'm going to add 1/3 of a teaspoon of tomato paste, just to give it like a little extra color, just to zhuzh it up. And I'm gonna turn my stove up just so it can melt this butter. You can go ahead and taste this to see if it is flavored enough. Not even salt, just flavored. Oh my god, guys, chef's kiss. All that flavor from the lobster, man, so good. And to this I'm going to add just about a cup of, actually not even a cup, 1/3 of a cup of half and half. I just didn't want to use heavy cream because heavy cream is extremely heavy and I don't like that. So I like to kind of balance it out with the half and half. And then I am just going to stir it, let it cook off the cream. And guys, oh my god, this is going to be so divine. It's gonna be delicious. And you literally, you do this on low heat just so the cream could get the color of the tomatoes. And you do this on low for about no more than about 4 minutes. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our lobster and all that juice back into this. And guys, whew, man, it's literally gonna be so good. I'm going to cover this for about 1 minute, literally 1 minute max, and let it do its thing. After 1 minute, guys, it is finished. It's done. We're gonna go ahead and plate this with our grits. Okay, so I have my grits here and I'm just gonna dump it in my bowl. And I am just going to rinse this. Look at that. Look at this. Do you see that? Yeah. And that, my friend, is why we rinse our grits. Because the gritty stuff that be in this grits is like, I see people all the time where like they just pour the grits in the pan. And yeah, no, no ma'am, no sir. So I rinsed this a couple times. I mean, listen, it's your home. You can do whatever you like. If you don't want to rinse your grits, hey, by all means, be my guest. But you know what I say, as for me, in my house, we gonna rinse this grits, child. And believe me, it tastes so much better. So about 3 times is good. You don't have to do it too many times. 3 times, if you notice the water is visibly clearer. And yes, you're gonna lose some grits. You're not gonna lose all the grits. You're gonna lose some. And that is okay. See? There we go. Grits is all clean. And now we're gonna get ready to put it to cook and do what it do. Here I have 2 cups of water in my pot that's boiling. To that, I am going to add just a half of a chicken bouillon. And I'm going to let that dissolve and come to a boil. And also, if you don't want to use water, you can use chicken stock. I don't have any on hand, so therefore I flavor my water with chicken bouillon. And you don't want to add too much salt, because again, you can add, you cannot take away. That's my rule. And so I am going to let that come to a boil as it is. Here I have 2 cups of water in my pot that's boiling. To that, I am going to add just a half of a chicken bouillon, and I'm going to let that dissolve and come to a boil. And also, if you don't want to use water, you can use chicken stock. I don't have any on hand, so therefore I flavor my water with chicken bouillon. And you don't want to add too much salt, because again, you can add, you cannot take away. That's my rule. And so I am going to let that come to a boil as it is. So here I have my water boiling for my grits and my chicken bouillon. I'm just gonna stir this around. And it's okay if all the pieces does not get dissolved. That's totally fine. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to add my grits that I washed and cleaned. And I'm just gonna pour that in there like so. And this is like a 5-minute grit, so you have to literally work fast. And I'm gonna let this come to a nice boil. And when most of the water is dissolved, aka the liquid, I am going to add some heavy cream. And I'm going to add some cheddar cheese that I freshly grated. I would recommend using cheddar cheese that's freshly grated, because that one that's in the bag, pre-grated, that's cellulose. I don't like it, but hey, it's your kitchen. Like I said, you can do whatever works for you. As you can see, it's coming to a boil. So just let it do its thing. Just make sure it does not burn, and you turn your stove down and let it do its thing. Let all the water come to a boil and dissolve it, and you know, do its thing. And then we're gonna add all the other goodies. Okay, now our grits is on low. As you can see, most of the liquid has come to a simmer. And I just added some garlic and herb butter. That's Kerrygold garlic and herb butter, guys. It is like the best thing since, I don't even know. I can't even tell you. But it's just good. It's just good butter. And to that, I am going to add some heavy cream. About 1/3 of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And we're gonna nicely stir this in. And it's gonna make our grits really nice and creamy. Sidebar, sugar does not go in grits, okay? It's not. Don't argue me on this. It just doesn't. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our cheddar cheese. I did freshly grated cheddar cheese. If you don't have freshly grated and you have the one in the bag, I mean, feel free. It just melts better. Look at that, guys. Ooh, ain't that grits pretty? Yes, God. It is beautiful, right? Now we're gonna let that cheese melt and do its thing. We're also gonna add some Parmesan cheese. I love Parmesan cheese in my grits. It gives it a nice little flavor. And we're gonna stir that in. Ooh, sweet baby Jesus. Man, look at this. Look at that. And you see how yellow that good cheddar cheese made it? Ooh. Delish. Look at that prettiness. Guys, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this either. And of course, you taste it to see if it's perfectly flavored. I think it is perfectly flavored. Yum. Yum. Amazing. And that sauce from that lobster, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I'm gonna let it do its thing for a few minutes. I'm just gonna put some freshly cracked black pepper. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna let it finish and cook for an extra minute or two. And that's it. Seriously, guys, it does not get any better than this. Nope. It does not. Look at that. That creamy goodness on a plate. Guys, I mean, beautiful. Chef's kiss. Literally. And I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm going to add these beautiful creamy lobster pieces to my grits. I mean, baby, chef's kiss, okay? Chef's kiss. I mean, I cannot even begin to tell you how good this is going to be. I could literally just share the recipe with you and hope that you try it and literally enjoy it. This, my friend, is my beautiful bowl of cheddar Parmesan grits with my creamy tomato lobster sauce. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. You know what I say, eat that food. It don't just look good, but it tastes amazing too. Don't believe me? Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more delicious meals. And follow me on TikTok, Spice Grapes Cuisine. Follow me on Instagram, Spice Grapes Cuisine. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share the recipe, because why not? Better yet, try it for yourself.